Unlocked.
And I'm Jenna, and we are going over the book Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. We are currently on chapter 21. Thank you guys all for listening so far, and we're halfway through the book almost. So, great news. Jaden James was born on September 12th, 2006, and he is 2 days before Sean
Preston.
baby, like his birthday. Sorry, Sean Preston's birthday. So that means that Jaden James is only 363 days younger.
Yeah. Yep.
And she says he was always a happy kid. She was happy to get her body back.
Oh yeah, when you
You
can
know
finally
what?
fit into your skinny jeans.
If she had a third kid, she wouldn't be getting her body back. Third kid kills you. Don't ever have the third one. So, a lot of people, because at this point they had already dealt with Sean Preston as a baby. They had already done this for a year. So they are now, Brittany and Kevin are now much better at averting paparazzi. They're figuring out ways.
Yeah.
And the headline on some of these paparazzi magazines are, "Why is Brittany so camera shy with Jaden?" Well, I don't fucking know. Why do you think?
Maybe she's protecting her baby from your slimy cameras.
The paparazzi was literally at the hospital from day 1 that she had Jaden, then continued on day 2, day 3, and the amounts of them, filling the parking lot. Get another hobby.
But you have to think, back then,
The picture was worth so
I don't
much.
know, maybe $1 million. How much would that picture be worth?
A couple million.
Probably,
the first
yeah.
picture of this baby, a couple million, because I remember back then it was like Angelina Jolie or somebody sold the first picture rights to People magazine for like $5 million.
Usually that's what they would do back then, and maybe even now, I don't know.
I think they still do that, to be like, hey, People magazine will be like, hey, I want a picture of your baby. I want the picture rights, the first picture rights.
And they'll do like a photo shoot for the magazine.
And it's very lovely, and it's nice,
it's not
and it's
like
not
a baby crying.
Yeah. And it was worth a lot of money. So all the paparazzi's like, dude, I want this couple million bucks or whatever. And if you could get a good one, even of Britney, Lindsay Lohan, Paris, if you could get a good one then, because you couldn't use your cell phone.
Yeah,
you couldn't use anything. You had to have these big cameras around.
And they would have put these huge lenses on them.
Huge lenses, like real legit, like big ass cameras, like $1,000 worth of camera. And whoever got the best picture they would go to magazines and sell them for $500,000, for $10,000, for $30,000, for $1 million, depending on what it was. So the first picture of this baby, whoever you went to with that picture, you could be looking at a couple $1 million. I mean, really.
Yeah.
That's just,
Which is crazy to think about.
So she wanted to protect them. And, it is crazy to think about, because now we have babies and we post them on Instagram. Like, here's a free picture of my baby. The time he was born, the date, the pound, everything. And back then it wasn't like that. There was no social media, for one. And for two, it was just you would send out birth announcements.
Yes. Yeah, you would send a birth announcement. Yeah.
And I still did that with my kids. I'm so old school. I'm still over there writing letters.
I did birth announcements for my children.
And I mailed invitations for their first birthdays.
I did
for their baptism.
I did that. But mine are older.
Yeah, so this was at that time. That was at the time. This is 10 years later, and I'm mailing, I still do Christmas cards and shit. Anyways.
Yes.
I love that old shit, though. And it's so exciting when you get mail, a card in the mail. It's just
yeah, it hits different.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I only got 3 this year. They're going down. They're dwindling.
I didn't send anybody Christmas cards this year.
Well, anyways. So Brittany felt like she needed to protect her babies at all costs, obviously. I would too. And so she only had one press interview that year, and it was with Matt Lauer from Dateline.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember.
the main thing was, is Britney a bad mom?
Yeah,
that's what he wanted to know. Is Britney a bad mom?
Yeah, that was like the overall theme of
how do
the
you
interview.
answer that? I'm trying my best. And like, I think I'm a bad mom, but then you look at me and you're like, you're doing fine. Like, everything's great. Like, you're great. Yeah. But every mom thinks that they're like fucking up their kid. Mm-hmm. And then you have this mom that's in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm. And she's never done this before, and she's having 2 babies back to back. She's still a very new mom.
And she's young. I mean, at this point, 2006? She's 22, right? Because she was born in 82? So she's 24.
I don't remember what year she was born.
I know. I think it was 82. But either way, she's young 20s.
Yeah, she's in her 20s.
And she's going through this, and she's never even been, like, a real human. She's been since she was 15.
And even before that, because she was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah. Well, hence my hoodie that I wore today was a Mickey Mouse hoodie for Britney.
And that was when she was, like, 11?
12, yeah. But she was thrust into this fame at 15.
Yeah. But she's been doing it her whole life.
Yes. So, what I had a question about was the fact that Kevin and her are clearly at the hospital together.
Yeah.
So, when did they start speaking again? She went to New York. She went to Vegas. She's trying to talk to him. Yeah. Nobody's letting them talk. I feel like I missed a part of the episode.
Yeah, I think that she's just skipped ahead like she always does.
Something, yeah.
But the way that I feel like it would go, like the narration would be like she saw him, they denied her, and then at some point, like, they did communicate because then he said, no, I would never do that. So he probably came back home after he was done with all the partying and stuff. Okay. He's got to come back home. He still lives there. They're still married. I mean, he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
No, it's not that he has to, but you got to think. That's still his
did they
meal
not
ticket.
or did he not see her until the baby was born and he showed up at the hospial?
I don't think so. I don't think
so either.
I think he wanted to have his fun at the studio and whatever.
But Brittany, I want a resolve. I want to know when he came
back. And he's like, I would never do that, baby.
I want to know what his excuse was. I want to know why it's okay to go from New York to Vegas. So obviously days, if not, he moved his fucking studio. Months have passed, and you haven't contacted your wife?
Well, we don't know how much time had actually passed because she doesn't clarify.
But even if it was days, spotty. So you're gonna go a full day without contacting your wife?
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
No.
Communication is very important. Extremely. If you don't have communication, you have nothing. You have nothing. You literally have nothing without communication. You don't even have a friendship without communication.
Like, Brad will go to the races, and sometimes I'll, like, talk to him maybe once or twice a day for, like, 2 seconds.
It depends on what's happening, yeah.
But still, we're talking. Like,
yeah,
he's alive. He still loves me. He's not fucking another bitch, I hope. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, this, like,
no,
weeks, months, like, days?
Too long. But obviously...
For her to be able to get on a plane and go to New York, come back, get on a plane, go to Vegas.
She was tracking him down.
There's an issue. He moved his whole studio. There's a fucking time lapse that is an issue.
Moving the studio, to me, might not be a big deal, only because it could be if he's trying to get signed with a certain label, and maybe that's where they are. He's working. Maybe he didn't move the studio.
Who cares?
He doesn't have a studio. He's going to cares? Like, there might be a producer that says, come work with me in New York.
Cool. I'm so glad that you make these phone calls. Why didn't he call Britney?
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that he is right. I'm just
saying that no matter where he went.
Let's just like say that he wanted his cake and eat it too, and he did.
And he has.
That's what he did.
Well, anyways.
Yeah.
So, she was just like her safe space. She made her safe space exactly how she wanted it.
Dream house.
Her dream house. She had the marble floors. She had the mural of like mural. whatever.
And
she had things painted on the walls, which I get that because I did that with my kids. I have.
Yeah, no, she was doing the mom stuff.
Yeah, she was totally like
she was
nesting and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had cool neighbors. She lived next to Mel Gibson and Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
You're rich. You're in Hollywood. Sounds right. But what I was like interested about, what are you going to talk about next?
Well, the dream house, which we did talk about, but how she was very like bossy and very like she almost was neurotic. She didn't use the word neurotic, but when I was reading it, it was like she was very like neurotic.
She
literally wanted the way the house had to be. And then she even said, and I quote, "I think I knew then that I'd become weird." So she felt a little weird.
Well, she probably was already weird at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we're all a little weird, Brittany. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, I want to see what.
I
feel like I skipped ahead on that page a little bit.
Oh.
I was like, oh, everything sounds correct. Just go.
No. The dream house.
Just
okay.
keep going.
But then, you know how Brittany flips around. Now she gets into the fact that she was extremely, with the second baby, Jaden James, she was extremely overprotective of the baby. And I think that went along with the house, making the house perfect for the babies, very neurotic about everything.
Yeah.
She would not let her mom hold Jaden for the first 2 months. She didn't. And when she finally did, 1:30. When she finally, when she finally did let her, it was just like for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and she's like, "Okay, give him back. I need my baby." Because she was so, like, I'm gonna say stressed. I don't know that she was, but it seems like she was very stressed emotionally and mentally with everything going on in her life with her husband, and so she just focused everything on the house and the kids because it's all she had to do was focus on the house and the kids. So she said she felt bossy, controlling, and hormonal. And she compared herself to Benjamin Button, which if you haven't seen Benjamin Button, it's a movie with Brad Pitt where he ages backwards. So she felt like she was regressing to her childhood or like had parts of her that were like childlike state.
And she felt that way when Jamie Lynn was born as well.
She did.
And she had said that she had read somewhere that you regress back to the last time that you felt safe, secure, happy, whatever.
So whatever age that was for her was
and whenever
young.
You have kids, you would stop growing with them at that point. Like you would try to make everything perfect until that point, that age, whatever that age was.
Yeah.
And so I was actually like thinking of it to almost like Neverland with Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, he went back into a childlike state. Yeah, he did.
And I've compared Britney Spears' paparazzi issues like Michael Jackson's paparazzi issues.
Oh, definitely.
That Michael Jackson couldn't go to a store, couldn't go to Disneyland, couldn't do anything without paparazzi just like losing their ever-loving shit. And so I just feel like that's how Britney is.
Yeah.
Like the
definitely.
same type of thing, like could not.
And we even talked about off camera earlier about how Michael Jackson wanted to go to a store one day.
And couldn't. And so they had pretend shoppers, extra shoppers, and then they had like the real cashiers and busboy, or not busboys, but
well, like the stalkers.
The stalker boys, like putting everything in, and just so Michael Jackson could go to a store and feel normal. They shut down a real grocery store.
Yeah.
Just like with Elvis Presley, he wanted to go to Disneyland. So to take Lisa Marie Presley, he would rent out Disneyland in the middle of the night. This is in like the 70s.
Yeah.
Just so he could have a normal, because of all the craziness around him. And it's like Britney Spears became this person, and really, honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to it. To be honest, like really, it could have been Christina Aguilera, it could have been but they all just hyper focused on Britney. And I don't understand why. At that time, there was so many other stars, artists, movie stars, like.
But there was nobody like Britney, really, though. Like, Britney's very, like, back then and even now, she's very iconic. Like, my daughter, who's 15, she loves Britney's music. Now that she's a little bit older, she's like, oh, yeah, okay, you know, she gets it. Because I'm like, oh, we saw her in concert. But when she sees Britney's Instagram these days, she's like, I don't see the hype about Britney. I'm like, this is not the Britney that I grew up with.
Yeah, but.
You know, like, Britney, you got to watch the old videos of Britney, you know, like, and her performances.
So weird that, like, why, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just, like, I don't know. Just like,
why
it's
Britney?
Weird.
I don't know.
Why did the paparazzi?
Britney's probably thinking the same thing. Why the fuck me? Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
like, why did they go after her so much? And you think about it, and you look at all these movie stars. Even now, Bradley Cooper. I don't see him in paparazzi.
But
Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, but
like,
remember in the beginning of her book when they talked about how many like number ones and things that benchmarks that she made that no one else
away.
made.
Oh, that's
and
right.
So she was like.
So
was the
I guess so. Yeah, it's
queen
because
of pop,
the
princess of pop.
She's always been the princess of pop.
Yeah, like
it's
Britney, bitch. Like it's
yeah.
Britney.
So,
I don't know why.
anyways, okay.
I don't know.
So she had perinatal depression. And that is why she was so crazy with her, overprotective with her kids, and so neurotic on everything.
Yeah.
She was
Which
feeling
is really
sadness.
sad because they didn't like diagnose it properly.
No, they didn't know how to then.
Yeah.
That wasn't correct. You don't do mental illness then. You don't do any of that then.
Yeah.
And so she had sadness, anxiety, fatigue. Super obsessed with the baby's safety and controlling. And I'm like, actually.
That sounds like a normal mom to me.
And then you have these fucking crazy paparazzi.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
nothing here sounds weird to me. Sadness, anxiety, fatigue. I know after I had my babies, I had that.
And then you want to add on.
I mean, I'm not lessening what she went through, but I mean,
that's what I'm thinking too. Like fatigue, okay, because you have a baby that gets up every like fucking that just comes with it. Sadness, oh my god, there's another baby. And then anxiety, oh my god, there's paparazzi.
And oh my god, my husband's a douchebag.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of oh my gods.
Yeah. And and what was sad was that I feel like she had no friends. All she had was Kevin, who's always away. Mm-hmm. She had a chef that came by.
Well, she had Felicia, but she said Felicia was like in and out.
Yeah. And that we find out in the next chapter.
I know, but
yeah, but
she did have Felicia.
I feel so bad for her because she really like had nobody. She had her babies, and that was like it. She didn't have a BFF to call. Because she never established those relationships when she was a child because she was performing. She was on the Mickey Mouse Club. She was doing all these other things.
I did see an interview recently with Melissa Joan Hart.
I love her.
Yeah, and you remember she had that movie?
Yes.
Drive Me Crazy?
Yes.
And then Britney did the song.
I have it on VHS.
And they did the music video together.
Yes.
Which is so
it's
funny.
On the end of the VHS, all the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah.
Yes, Drive Me Crazy.
Yeah.
The green shirt.
Yes.
Sabrina
Teenage Witch. We love her.
I can do that like word for word. That movie. I love that movie.
So, Britney and her became friends because, and this is a little bit before the babies and Kevin, but like she did try because Melissa Joan Hart actually did an interview, which I randomly saw like I think yesterday or the day before, that when she came on her show and she did like a guest appearance on the show, Sabrina Teenage Witch, they decided like, let's go out. And then Britney's like, yeah, I want to go. And then the people are like, no, you have to do this interview, then you have this, then you have this. And she was always so booked she could never do anything. So
Melissa Joan Hart,
she kept they kept in contact, and like every once in a while they would like, if they could, like sneak out and they'd go to the clubs and go dancing together. And they would like party.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then she would I don't know that they like partied hard, but like they would go dancing and stuff. No, they wouldn't
probably have partied hard.
But they got out.
Love her.
They got out. And then, she tried to go out with Paris Hilton and she tried to go out with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
I mean, back then she did have friends, but it wasn't like, I
It was
don't
industry
know.
friends. I think that if she had stuck with Melissa Joan Hart, it would have been really good for her.
Yeah.
Because she's good. Hillary Duff is my other, like, favorite. Like, Melissa Joan Hart and Hillary Duff are, like, my fucking, like, I will follow them to the ends of the earth. I
always thought
them.
Hillary Duff was so cute.
I love her, and I would, she's the same age as me. And I would literally follow her to the ends of the earth. I've seen her in everything, and I love her.
And then wasn't her sister in Napoleon
Haley
Dynamite?
Duff. I'm not sure. I didn't watch that movie,
was.
but I don't follow Haley Duff. I only follow Hillary.
Yeah, she played like the mean girl in that one or something.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah.
So
she tried to get out and make friends, but her dad probably stopped her.
I don't. Or her manager, or this, or that, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the end of chapter 21. Stay tuned for chapter 22.
Thank you.
Bye.